Brother Ghulam Hussain passed away in Karachi, and family has requested for dua for Maghfirah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant her highest place in Jannah. And also, as you know, Dr. Khalid Mahmood's mother passed away yesterday, and she was buried at Arsalan Cemetery. Please make dua for her Maghfirah as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant her highest place in Jannah. So Imam Sahib, can you please make dua?
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give shifa to those who are ill. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant mercy to those who have passed away. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them forgiveness and envelop them in His mercy and elevate their ranks in Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give solace and strength to their family members who are going through these difficult times. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I would request if the brothers and sisters can just bear with me for a few minutes. I have something very, very important to say. So if you can please bear with me for just a few minutes, inshallah. Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Sometimes, brothers and sisters, we engage in activities that we think are completely fine and normal, but if we turn to the people of ilm, people of knowledge, we may discover that they are not permissible in our deen. And when something like that happens, instead of turning to this person or that person and blaming them, we should just take it as an opportunity of learning and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for teaching us something that we didn't know before and correct our ways in the future. Brothers and sisters, there's something that many Muslims engage in, and we don't realize that this is completely impermissible. So I wanted to take a few minutes to highlight this, insha'Allah ta'ala. And that is, brothers and sisters, that first of all, you all know, hafidhakumullah, that gambling is not permissible in Islam. We all know that. That's mentioned in the Quran, and it is one of the major sins. And essentially, gambling is when you or I, hopefully not you or I, someone else puts up some money, hoping that they will gain more money out of that, but there's a chance that they may lose it also. And there's another person who is hoping for the same thing. They're putting up some money, and they're hoping that they will win more money than they put up, but there's a chance that they will lose the money that they have put up. This is what gambling is. And there's many different forms of gambling. Even in a casino, there are many different forms of gambling, as you're well aware of. But even outside of the casinos, there are things that people do that amount to gambling, that are the same thing. And people may not realize that, and in fact, many times don't realize that. So I'll give you a more obvious example first, and then some more not so obvious examples. An obvious example, something on which there's ijma of the ulama, no disagreement among the ulama, is playing chess for money. I'm not talking about playing chess, but playing chess for money. So let's say that there is Zayd and there is Amr, and they're playing chess. But before they begin, each of them puts up $50. Okay? And the winner takes all. And then they play chess, and whoever wins gets the $100, the other person has lost $50. This is a form of gambling, and it is completely impermissible in Islam, and there is no difference of opinion about that. So I hope that this is something that's an obvious example for, I hope, for most of us, insha'Allah ta'ala. Now, let's take a slightly less obvious example, though it should make sense to most of you after what I just said. Let's say Zayd and Amr are not playing against one another, but Zayd is playing against a computer. So the other side is a computer. But there is a contest that's going on, chess contest. You have to pay a price, you have to pay a fee, let's say $50, to enter into that contest. And then Zayd sits down and plays chess with the computer. If Zayd loses, he loses that $50. But if Zayd wins against the computer, then he wins a prize, like $1,000, for example. This is also gambling, because simply the organizers of that contest are either going to win from this one game or they're going to lose from this one game. You see, if Zayd loses, the organizers win $50. But if Zayd wins, then the organizers lose $950. They get the 50, but they lose $1,000, right? So this is also a form of gambling. It should be obvious to most of us. Now let's get to examples that are less obvious to most of us, but hopefully we will now see that they should have been obvious all along after I gave these examples. Let's say that you play a game. You go to a place, let's say a bowling alley, or what is that place called? Main Event, right? Or Chuck E. Cheese, for example. You go there and you put in money to play a game. You put in money to play a game. Let's say the game is that bowling game that you throw that ball and it goes into one of the holes, right? Or it's another game where you shoot those basketballs, right? And every time you score, there's a ticket that comes out. A ticket that comes out. And then you take those tickets to the booth and you reimburse those tickets for what? A prize. This is the same thing. Because what did you do? Not you, someone else, Zayd. What did Zayd do? Zayd put in money. He put in money to play the game. Now there's a chance that he may not win anything. And there's a chance that he will win a prize in the form of a ticket, but then he goes and he gets the prize. And the prize may be $25 worth of prize. Could be $5 worth of prize. The coin may only have cost $1 or $2. There's a chance that he may not win anything, in which case the people who run the arcade have won $2 from Zayd without losing anything. And there's a chance that Zayd will spend $2 for the game, but he wins $25 prize, in which case the organizers have lost $23. Okay? So these kinds of games, brothers and sisters, I know for a fact that many of us Muslim brothers and sisters, we participate in, and we take our kids to, not realizing, because we have never learned perhaps, or maybe we forgot, maybe we learned, we forgot, or we never understood properly. But these types of games, according to the ulama, are treated just like gambling. And therefore, it is not permissible, brothers and sisters. It's not permissible to enter into these types of games. The bottom line is this, that if you are going to pay for a game, and then you may win a prize at the end, it's not allowed. What is allowed is, for example, if you play a game for free, and then the winner gets a prize at the end, that's permissible. Let's say there's a race, let's say, between me and Brother Nafis. There's a race between me and Brother Nafis, right? The masjid says Brother Nafis and Arsalan are going to race, and whoever wins is going to get $50. But there's no prize for me or Brother Nafis to enter the race. And then we race, and I'm sure Brother Nafis is going to win because he runs every day, mashallah. Okay? So he wins, and he can get the $50. And that's fine, it's completely halal, because he didn't pay a fee. If, on the other hand, let's say that I go to an arcade, and there's a video game, right? And it charges money for me to play the game. So I put money in it to play the game. But at the end, I don't get any prize. The only thing I get is I score the highest point. I get to put in my name, for example, at the end of the game. And that's it. It's just satisfaction, thrill, the happiness that I feel of having scored the highest number of points, fun, enjoyment, recreation. That's what I get out of paying that money to play that game. I don't get any monetary prize at the end of that. That's fine. That's permissible. But what's not permissible is when I pay a fee and then at the end I may potentially win a monetary value in the form of a prize. That is problematic, brothers and sisters. So the reason I'm talking about this, I think, should be obvious to some of you, because this is my first year in IACC, as you know, and I'm still learning a lot of things. And yesterday at the carnival, there were some of these types of games. So it happens, as I said, so nobody should blame anybody. We are all to blame because this is our community event. If anybody is to blame, we are all to blame. But this is hopefully something that we can learn from and we can correct this in the future. Now, I discovered this yesterday. And since yesterday until now, believe me, I have spent many, many hours checking and verifying and making sure that I know what I'm talking about. Because when I saw it, to be honest with you, I was shocked. So then I started to doubt myself that maybe there's something that I don't know. So I went and spent many hours researching. I checked many books. I read many articles. I contacted many people of ilm all across the country. And if you're interested, I can give you some references. And I have verified this, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. I have verified this, that this is true, that we are not allowed to engage in these kinds of games. So please help educate others. If you have any questions, please talk to me. If you have any doubts, please verify with other people of ilm. But please do not blame anybody. This is not, the point is not to blame anybody. It was a wonderful event. It was the first time that I experienced the carnival. It was a wonderful event, something very important for our kids to come and have a good time, for families to come. It's wonderful to see so many Muslims come to the masjid for them to have a good time. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the volunteers who put the event together. I know many young people especially worked very, very hard. Some of them were here from all the way from Fajr to all the way until Isha. Believe me, I saw some of them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teach us that which is beneficial and help us benefit from what we learn. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.